Good morning. Here's another book. It's another book I would like to read. I've just read the Amazon promotion here, and there's the link. This book is called The Belly of the Wheel. Interesting title, and it's by Mr. I K Walsh, and I'm going down to the bottom. It's 193 pages long. It was published on the 20th of February 2021, and there's the ISBN numbers. And it's not a big price, and it sounds fascinating. I love reading books written by people who have been through the mill, who have gone down to the depths and have somehow turned their lives around when all was almost lost. And this guy, I Walsh, certainly has done that. That's the Kindle version, $3.99. The paperback version, it's £6, and the hardcover version is £11. So if I see this, I'm going to buy it. And here's what it says. This is a first-person account of the relentlessly downward tailspin of an unwell, addicted surgeon and the initial stages of his recovery. It is an intensely real, personal and harrowing narrative which is not for the faint-hearted. The narrative also expands on the reasons and mechanisms underpinning such an addictive illness, latterly explaining how recovery can be addressed effectively. The writing begins as an account driven by a need to document what had happened, which then aligns with an attempt to understand. It represents a catharsis and proved to be an essential component of eventual recovery. As such, it may help explain this cunning, baffling and powerful illness to the afflicted and those close to them. The tone is a combination of factual description and emotive narrative, but includes a wealth of humour despite the subject matter. And I first came across this book and the author in the Belfast Telegraph, the 5th of April 2022. A Belfast surgeon and academic who had to rebuild his life after losing everything to alcoholism is now helping others battle the disease, and good on him. Belfast author of Honest Memoir. We still have this idea that addiction is a dirty word. And he's, I think he's about, he says 59, and he's 14 years sober, and he's now a Queen's University lecturer and urologist. And he lost his wife and family and his luxury home, all down to alcoholism, and he became bankrupt, and he was just physically wrecked. Friends no longer recognised him. Looks in good shape now, but this is well after the battle. Got to a stage he couldn't walk, and he was pulling himself about on his hands and knees. Now back to private practice and working as a lecturer in Queen's, he has rebuilt his life and recently remarried. Some pup. talented musician. And he initially wrote this book, for friends and relatives, but other people wanted to read it, and he decided, oh, let's put it out there. And he encourages people to talk about their illness and get as much support as possible. He says you can't do it on your own. You need support. And the support he got was, in the end, was his mummy and his best friend. He says, I was living in complete squalor, with no hygiene, drinking a couple of litres of vodka, wine and beers every day. I even drank aftershave once to stave off the withdrawals when I ran out of drink. My friends were breaking into the house to check if I was okay, and only to find me in a putrid state of disrepair. I find this interesting. After a particularly severe seizure which caused a clot in my head, Ian woke up in hospital and suddenly realised he didn't want to drink anymore. He was acutely aware that if he continued to abuse alcohol, he would most likely kill himself. With the help of his mum and his good friend, he left hospital and moved into a one-roomed sheltered flat in North Belfast with his mother. He has never taken a drink since. I'm fascinated by what it is that, brings a light bulb moment for folks who, are in the depths of alcoholism, and they've been talked to and they've been helped and all the rest of it, and they've still gone down that road, that spiral, and this light bulb moment fascinates me. What is it that starts them on the path to salvation, so to speak? I find it fascinating. As my best friend Charlie, my brother and my mum saved my life. So, brilliant read. And this guy is an interesting boy. I went on to Amazon again to find out a wee bit more about him. And there he is. He looks like a badass rocker. And there's all about him. Pretty smart boy. I'll not go into all of that. You can read that down for yourself. He has produced 2 theses and circa 150 publications. Here's the bit I like. He is a lead vocalist and guitarist with blues rock trio Ragbone. I must see if I can find a wee bit of information about them. He's composed and recorded and produced several music projects, including solo albums and all the rest of it. Blessed with 3 children, and he remarried, and he and his wife have 2 dogs. I really do want to get hold of this guy's book, because you usually find people like this have something very, very pertinent to say. So maybe you'll feel the same. The Belly of the Whale, $3.99 on Kindle. Okie doke.